This is BBC World News with Matthew Amroliwala and me, Yalda Hakim. The latest headlines. Major search is underway for an EgyptAir plane that disappeared over the eastern Mediterranean en route from Paris to Cairo.
66 people were on board the plane. Relatives of the passengers and crew have been gathering at Charles de Gaulle Airport and at Cairo's International Airport.
Well, with us here now in the studio is marine salvage specialist John Noble. John, thanks so much for joining us here on the programme. Now, the area that's being searched is not very big.
No, it won't be very big because I think some debris has been seen, and that will give a reference point. And they know where the aircraft was. This is not like the MH370, where there's a huge area. So I would imagine they can be fairly specific as to where the debris will be found on the seabed.
As you say, already they've found, there's news and information, Greek officials are saying that some bits of debris have been found. Yeah,
that would need to be confirmed, of course, but the likelihood must be, given the plane's gone missing, that is debris from the aircraft. The next stage is to find the wreckage on the seabed and then look at recovery of the deceased remains and, of course, the aircraft.
It's a very delicate job that is going to take some while, but they will hope to obviously retrieve the flight recorders, the data recorders.
Yes. In
terms of the basic information on that, just go through what potentially they can learn.
Well, the data recorders will have everything that the aircraft was doing, its height, speed, aspect, what the pilots were saying to each other. So there's a huge amount of data available to the analysis when they get it recovered. So we can be very confident that once the black boxes are recovered, they will have a very detailed analysis of what happened.
But if it's a sudden event, are they able to discern from the recorders what the cause of that event is likely to be?
Well, that really is a matter for the scientists. They can get the sound. If there was an explosion, for example, they'll pick up the sound and they'll pick up what the aircraft was doing immediately before. But depending on what actually happened, will control the level of analysis that's available.
There'd be a number of different countries working in the area. I mean, how do they conduct that?
Well, this is something, sadly, that's not uncommon. Certainly in the shipping world, when you have an incident, most coastal nations in the area will have some sort of cooperation agreement. And an incident so high profile such as this, that will almost certainly come into play. It will be a team international effort rather than one trying to outdo another.
Yes, even on that point, I was reading only a short while ago that a submarine had been offered to the Egyptian authorities because this, am I right, is almost one of the deepest parts of the Mediterranean, this area that they are actually searching.
Well, it is, but there is precedent. There have been operations at that sort of depth in the Mediterranean where bits of ship and associated cargo have been recovered. So whilst the depth is obviously over 10,000 feet perhaps, it is not beyond the capability of the recovery specialists.
Just give us a sense of how busy this area is, because there are aircraft and ships all over the place in this area.
Well, the aircraft, as you see in the radar pictures that you can pick up, it's a busy area. And also on the surface, ships, fishing boats, commercial ships, cruise ships. So there's plenty of activity in that part of the Mediterranean, both up in the air and on the surface.
John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, the latest in terms of the search of the seas there in the Mediterranean. And of course, we'll have all the latest details out of Egypt, out of Paris here on the programme. Don't go away. This story is moving relatively fast and we'll have all that detail for you in a moment.